welcome to the Hustings for obviously the most prestigious and important position in college. The turnout clearly reflects that. Staggering. We've only got one candidate, Dave, so it should be quite quick. And then we'll move on to the welfare ones afterwards with Liv. Okay, so same as last week, I've got a question to start off with, which Woody's had 24 hours to prepare, and then you can all ask questions from the floor. So the question is, do you see the Vice Senior Man as a JCR Secretary or a Vice President, and how would you adapt the role accordingly?
Hello, can you all hear me? I'm using it right, yeah. Firstly, thanks for coming. Not a huge thing, but thank you anyway. Hopefully I spoke to most of you this week. Yes, so to address Andy's question, is the Vice Senior Man a JCR Secretary or a Vice President? I think to say it's just outright one or the other is to take quite a blinkered approach to the Vice Senior Man role. I think certainly there's elements of both present, but I guess out of the two it sort of swings more towards a secretary. I guess if you look at, he writes agendas, he writes the minutes for meetings, and has a general communication role by sending out emails and that sort of thing, which I guess is undoubtedly a secretarial position. But I think the Vice Senior Man is definitely more than a secretary. The way he interacts, or she interacts with the rest of the exec, making sure things get done, and sort of tying together the exec as a team, I think goes beyond what I would interpret as a secretarial role. I think we can also say that its role in relation to the JCR goes beyond secretary. If you think that the Vice Senior Man sits on all the major committees of the JCR, and not only just sits there and takes minutes of the meetings and observes what goes on, he has a contribution to what is said and the outcome and decisions that those committees reach. So I think it definitely goes beyond just writing minutes and sending those out. I think secondly, it's important to note that people don't see him as college secretary. I think the Vice Senior Man gets a lot of messages about general questions which go beyond JCR meetings and agendas. So I think it's perceived as a role which has an overall knowledge of what goes on in college and all the various committees that the college consists of. In terms of the Vice President element of it, I think there's obviously some parts that you could say are presidential in terms of its relationship with the Senior Man. If the Senior Man can't make its press com or any other committees, then the Vice Senior Man is expected to step up and be a presence for Castle. But I think the two roles are more distinct than President and Vice President. You know, the Vice Senior Man has its own distinct responsibilities, most of which are secretarial, but yeah, again, they're not dependent on one another, and I think they work together more as a pair than rather than a hierarchy, as in a lot of other colleges. So yeah, to summarise, I think to say it's one or the other is not looking at the role in its full capacity. I think it is leaning towards secretarial, but that representative element that it has on committees certainly means that it goes far beyond a JCR secretary. In terms of how I would adapt the role, I think we need to bear in mind that in the Castle setup, as we have the exec, without a sabbatical Senior Man, I think it's quite a unique role which suits Castle pretty well. So I wouldn't advocate any wholesale changes to the role. But what I would say from canvassing this week is that the Vice Senior Man can become a more visible presence in college. I think a suggestion I have for that is in JCR meetings, parts of the agenda which are perhaps more suited to the Vice Senior Man or which he has extra expertise. I think I see no reason why the Vice Senior Man can't stand up and present those parts of the agenda, even though it has a role in taking minutes. I think those parts would probably mean that the Vice Senior Man is getting seen more by college, and perhaps there's a greater understanding of that area of what's being discussed. So yeah, I think to adapt the role and to take it forward, I think greater visibility within college would benefit the JCR and how it perceives the Vice Senior Man as well.
Sweet. Questions?
What's the most, in your point of view, what's the most important point on your manifesto and why?
I think, to me, the most important point is about effective communication. I think Vice Senior Man is the person everyone goes to on the exec to send out emails and that sort of thing. I think it's important that it has to be engaging and effective. Otherwise, decisions that are taken by the exec just become completely closed door and people don't see what's being done. So yeah, I guess I guess communications is the key point, and making sure the JCR realise what's going on and have an input into the decisions that are made in the future.
Questions? Anyone? Josh.
Do you think the role's been devalued at all by the fact it's just you that's gone for it?
Yes, okay. I don't think it devalues the role. I think it's a bit of a shame for you guys as a JCR that you've only got me to listen to, and only my opinions which are being broadcast tonight. So I think it's a bit of a shame. I don't think it necessarily devalues it. If no one else wants to run for it, then yeah, that's fine by me. I'm still as passionate and as keen to do the role as I would have been if someone else was sitting next to me. So I don't necessarily think it devalues it, but I think it's a shame for the JCR as a whole.
Questions?
What would you change about the current email system and why?
Do you mean the newsletters? Yeah. Well, I think, first of all, that their streamlining this year has been a benefit. I think more people read it than last year anyway. So I think that's definitely a plus. Taking that forward, I think perhaps formatting them a bit better, simple things like headings, bolded, underlining things so people can navigate their way through the newsletter and find bits which are relevant to them. So yeah, I think so formatting it so they're more reader friendly.
Can you tell us your favourite joke?
My joke's at 4, but I'll give it a go. What do you call a male Spanish stripper? Senor Willy. the linguist, love that.
Right, let's go with some more questions. Come on. Arjan, that's a hand, definitely. No, Robin?
Can you just tell us what kind of experience maybe you have had in, I don't know, communicating effectively?
I think as most people here are, we're head boy or girl of some sort of deputy. I was that in my school. But to bring a more recent experience into play, I'm currently head of security, so I've had quite a lot of responsibility in dealing with college office on some sensitive issues and delicate matters, I guess. So I think in that sense I've had to liaise with them and communicate what security want and what they want to change to sort of senior members of the college. I also sit on UCRAC as a JCR rep, so has an input into how JCR money should be spent and seeing how those sort of committees operate, I guess.
What's your favourite part of the Constitution? Sorry, the standing order, and why?
The part that basically says the deputy head of security's head of security's bitch. I don't know what part that is. I'm not I haven't read it, but it's there somewhere. Don't you worry.
If there was one thing you could change about the JCR, what would that thing be?
I think perhaps this year we've become less integrated as JCR. I think as college gets a bit bigger, it's inevitable it's going to happen, but I think we should try and limit that as much as possible. So hopefully, I think through things like using the website more effectively and improving things like the newsletter, that we can maintain a core college community.
Cool. So Vice Senior Man has arguably the best room in college, although the last two Senior Mans have been very weak when it comes to getting girls back, and at least converting. Which current female member of the JCR will you be targeting next year to take them back?
I'm going to try and make this as less awkward as possible, I guess. The Senior Man's definitely got to be on there. A power couple of Castle, I think. Dodge that question, it's most likely.
Any more questions? Anyone further back? Come on. Anything? Senior man elect? Come on. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done the joke. Nice to see you pay attention.
Dave, what happened to your face?
Right, that was what happened to your face from Alec for Jessica.
I take it you mean the cut, yeah. Initially, I fell over.
What were you doing?
Just icy cobbles, I guess. Yeah, I fell over. It's getting a bit better, but we had rugby today, so it's sort of opened up a bit worse. So, yeah.
Questions?
Being part of the rugby team for Durham University, will you still be able to manage your time according with that and being senior man and the rest of your love life?
Love life. I think I'm going to see how it goes, basically. If it's becoming too much, then obviously have to reconsider how much rugby I play. But vice senior man, should I be successful, would obviously be my priority. And then I'd make that decision accordingly. If it's becoming too much, then cut back. But as it stands, I'll give it a go, see how they both work together. Love life is... Oh. Yeah, that's going to take up a long time, isn't it? But it's a nighttime job, isn't it? That's the daytime parts of rugby, so they won't clash.
16 months, isn't it, Willie?
Okay, after the relatively disappointing singing by the senior man candidates, because Welsh people are renowned for having a good voice, could you please give us your best rendition of your favourite song? If it is in Welsh, you'll get bonus points.
I guess the Welsh national anthem is the only one I've got, so that's a bit cringe, isn't it? I won't do the microphone because it won't come out so well. I want to get those notes. My hair You don't know it? Is that enough, or do you want me to continue?
Any more? Benson, you've got to have a question. Oh, Jenny Dale, there you go. Hold on. Just shout.
Sorry?
Your tie choice tonight.
Yep.
Do you think that you will be a defender of things like doubling, or will you treat it kind of in a different way to how it has been before?
Yeah, I think, well, obviously when I'm proud to have done it, I think it's a castle tradition which a lot of us hold very close to their hearts, and I'd definitely be in favour of defending it. I think, I think apart from the fact you're doing a 7-mile run drinking, it's a great way of having a great night in college. It creates a great atmosphere in the Undie. So if you look beyond exactly what you're doing, it's extremely unifying within college, especially people who've done it and people who want to do it. I think it generates quite a lot of support, and it's good for the community.
Anyone else? Freshers? Freshers questions? Had no freshers yet? No? Benson then? The question was, Andy Hudson's been the best vice senior man in college. Do you agree?
Since he's got the microphone, yeah.